I am with fellow colleagues. Ziyanda Ngcobo is our senior politics reporter. She also is joining me alongside Qaanitah Hunter, the politics editor at News 24. She is also, by the way, a co-author of a book called 8 Days in July. You talk about July, I think we all know, the rest of the country knows what happened in July. Let me get straight into this conversation. Ziyanda, eThekwini is a massive talking point. You were there covering the mess that happened in July on the back of the arrest of the former president. Might this be part of the repercussions of what happened in July? People in KZN speaking through their votes.
One of the factors that I think the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal will be considering when they do a post-mortem. Remember, the reason why even we're speaking about eThekwini, it was the only metro that the ANC had a full majority control over. Now they have dipped below the 50% mark. There's lots to consider. So it's not only the civil unrest in July, but it's also the arrest of former President Jacob Zuma. He hails from the ANC's Musa Dladla region, which Xoli has the Umhlatuze municipality, which the ANC lost to the IFP yesterday. This is an indictment then of the state of play there, that clearly the ANC supports or electorates did not go out to vote on election day in support of the ANC. There's also the other factor of the Shembe Church. Just weeks before the local government election, they had expressed discontent with the ANC, and I read an article this morning talking about how Provincial Secretary Mdumiseni Ntuli said that there seems to be a conflation between the ANC and the courts, because of course that march by the Shembe Church members was against the Constitutional Court judgment which ruled in favor of one of the factions within the Shembe Church. It was members from Ebuhleni who marched through the streets of Durban. So all these factors combined, as well as a leadership within KwaZulu-Natal that at some stage was divided on how to manage the Jacob Zuma factor, that led to this current state of play.
Qaanitah, let's bring you into the conversation. 8 Days in July. That book, I think it speaks for itself, the title of the book. This is a book, by the way, that would have been published last week. It's probably going to be hitting the shelves very soon. Talk to us briefly about what you have written in that book alongside your
I think the most significant point is that a lot of ANC structures were used in the instigation. Remember, ANC is a very coordinated political party, and when you want to have coordinated unrest like you saw, you have to tap into those structures, and the evidence points to ANC structures being used and weaponized in that way. The reality of the situation is that ANC structures were used to be mobilized against President Cyril Ramaphosa, and so it's very difficult now for them to have done that. And then in this campaign, Cyril Ramaphosa was particularly the face of the ANC's campaign, and now you want these people to go and vote as a result. So that's the first part of it. The second part of it is the apathy that's struck in. I'm very, very interested to see what voter turnout is in eThekwini come the complete results, because you're going to see people saying there were no political parties around when our shops were burning and when our public infrastructure was being attacked. That's the second point. The third point is, so voter apathy, obviously a very, very important factor in this election. But the third thing is just the level of lack of services because of ANC factionalism and the impact of ANC factionalism on governance. I think you can see it everywhere around the country, but you can see it in eThekwini. And that message that Ramaphosa and other ANC leaders went around the country saying, we know we messed up and we promised to do better, I don't think that found enough expression in that particular metro.
Guys, let's wrap this up. Ziyanda Ngcobo, the ANC really did try to do its best to win back the confidence of the residents of eThekwini. They even fielded the former president, Thabo Mbeki, talking to a business sector there. You were covering that particular story, but it just seems to have fallen on people's ears who are simply fed up. The people of eThekwini. At the end of the day, guys, it's about the delivery of services, and that has been hugely compromised. It's not just premised on what happened in July, by the way. This is something that the residents have been feeling even during the time of Zandile Gumede, who now faces criminal charges in court.
And I think it's not just eThekwini, but KwaZulu-Natal as a whole. But going back to your point about them rolling out all these leaders, firstly, rolling out national leaders for a local government election, we clearly see that strategy bombed out, because it's at a local level. That is the cold face of service delivery. So Mbeki, Ramaphosa, Motlanthe won't be there to account to you as the citizen when things go wrong in your ward. So I think the electorate saw through that. Secondly, Xoli, I think we know that municipalities have been the hotbed for patronage networks and grassroots politics within all these political parties. I would say it's not just the ANC. Now that we have 65 hung councils, Xoli, I wonder what that means for the nature of politics, especially in KwaZulu-Natal, where in the run-up to local government elections, without fail, we see political killings because of the vying of positions within the local council. So the electorate saw that too, Xoli.
Colleagues, let's leave it there. Time is always against us. It would have been lovely to stretch this interview. Ziyanda Ngcobo, thank you very much, our politics reporter, and Qaanitah Hunter, the editor at News 24.